peeps, welcome to another video. Today it is my June and July sewing lookbook. Now you may have noticed that the June one didn't go up in time for the end of June, and that's because I made a grand total of one thing in June. I finished off something that was halfway through, but from scratch I only made one thing. I completely lost my SewJo for the entirety of June. I was having one of those months where nothing was going right. I had very little inspiration to sew, and it was just one of those things, and it happens to all of us. So yes, I thought rather than do a twirl for a dress that you have seen me make a million times before, I thought I would save it and add it into the July lookbook, because, you know, one extra dress, it's very welcome, it's a nice one. So it's not the one I'm wearing, I will talk about that one in a minute, but the one I'm wearing is my latest rendition of the Sew Over It Eve dress, and I think this is my most successful one to date, and I will insert twirls for you down there for you to have a look at. Now, when I first started, I went by the pattern envelope and I did a size 14 bust graded to a 10 waist and then out to a 14 hip, and whilst the skirt portion fits me beautifully and I haven't changed that at all, I've since made 2 alterations to the bodice. So the next one I did, I went down to a size 12 bust and a 10 waist, and then, as I say, kept the skirt as was, and I still felt that was just, there was just so much fabric around here, and it didn't look right. Although not that it didn't look right, it just didn't feel right when I was wearing it. I was having to really place the crisscross on and then kind of like maneuver under my boobs to get it to stay where I thought it should be and where I thought it looked best. And so I've gone back to the pattern, and I didn't check the original, and I stupidly traced out the size 8 going, oh yeah, that's the one I need, and then looked and went, oh no, it's the size 10. So I went back, traced it again. Not only did I trace it and cut it out, I then altered it because I needed to add an inch of length to this bodice. So I did all that to the size 8 and realised that I'd done the wrong one. So I then went back and got the size 10 pattern and traced that. So this is a straight size 10 bodice to the waist, and then the waist, it grades from a 10 at the waist to a 14 at the hips. And as I say, I think this one fits me so much better. Although I will say that the anchor print one that I made back in, I want to say March, I do like how that looks. It's just a little bit more, I have to finagle it to get it to fit around here, and then there is a lot of excess fabric. But from a distance I like how it looks, and I will still wear it in public. The original I think I am going to donate, and I'm hoping that I can get some more of that fabric. But anyway, I digress, I'm waffling. This fabric is from the Textile Centre, and they don't have any of this colourway left, but they have got it in black, white and red, and then also a plum and a dark green and the creamy colour, and it's a rayon or a viscose. It is so lovely. It's really nice to wear in this kind of weather, very floaty. I'm quite hot today, but that's because I've just been outside doing lots and lots of twirls and things like that, so I'm this is the sort of fabric that I like wearing in this kind of weather, and this is the sort of dress that I like wearing in this kind of weather. And some people might think that this is a very fancy dressed up dress, and whilst totally it is a very fancy dress up dress, that's also the sort of thing that I will happily wear out for a day shopping and that kind of stuff. I mean, I've also worn my navy anchor print one out clubbing. The one time that I've been clubbing in the last couple of years, I wore that dress, so you know, it's a good all-rounder. But I like overdressing, that's just me. So I'm really pleased with this one, and I have said that I'm going to try and limit myself, because I can get very attached to patterns, and when I find them and I perfect them and then they get them looking just how I like, I'll then make a million of them, as you'll see in a second. But I have said going forward I'm going to limit myself to 5 of these. So I'm donating the first one that I made, so I've made 2 of these, so I've got 3 left, and I have plans for some fabric for my August makes, which you will be seeing in the next video. Anyway, really happy with this dress, and I'm going to change and talk to you about another one. So I also made this shirt in July and I'd completely forgotten it, and thankfully I'm having a massive day of filming, so I've remembered when I was putting clothes away and went, oh, I need to film this one. So yes, there's this shirt. I have done a sew along for it, which you can find up here, and I really like this. This is very outside of my usual comfort zone because of the Bardo nature of it. But it's really, really, really nice to wear, especially in this heat. So I've had a few people ask me how you lift your hands up in this, and yeah, in all honesty, not the easiest thing to do because these bands are quite restrictive. But then this is not the sort of thing that you're going to be wearing for painting the ceiling. So I think it's one of those fine lines of style versus practicality as to where you would wear this shirt, but I really, really like it. I think it's really cute. I've also had somebody else ask me if you could put elastic in it, and I don't see why you couldn't put elastic in this channel under here. With the, I wouldn't do it with the collar, I would do it with the gathered version that comes, the gathered option that comes with this particular pattern, because I think with the collar it wouldn't look right, but with the gathering, then having it hug you a bit more would look quite cool. So yes, I have traced and re-altered this pattern because I made this one and it's just about an inch too long for me, so I've retraced it because I can see myself making another one of these. And it also comes with sleeves that are quite billowy with then gathers that are there, and I can see myself making that one as well. This was the June sew along as voted for by my Patreon peeps, but as I've mentioned, June was not my month. I did not sew very many things in June, and I definitely didn't have the mental capacity to put together a sewing tutorial. So this tutorial went up in July, and I really hope you guys have enjoyed it, and as I say, I will definitely be making more of these. So this is the dress that I did get done in June, and it is a by hand London Anna v-neck bodice with a waistband and a 5-panel circle skirt, and again I will insert a twirl for you down here. Now as I said, June was not a good month for me. I was just having one of those times where anything that I did try and sew wasn't working out. I wasn't happy with things. The thing that I finished in June, I started in May, and then I ran out of bias binding for it because I hadn't, yeah, it was just one of those times where just nothing was going right. And I get a lot of questions about, I've lost my SewJo, how do I get my SewJo back? And for me, it's one of those things where I like to go to a pattern that is a T&T, a tried and true, that you know fits you, you know you can make, you know you can do it quite quickly, and you know that you love it and that you wear it. And for me, that's the by hand London Anna bodice, and I think I have made 28 of this bodice now. So you know, my whole kind of like 5 and I'm done rule, that came into effect because of this bodice and the grey dress that I haven't made at all this year so far. So yeah, it was one of those ones where I needed to get this fabric from one of my Patreons because they would like it for, they wanted something Doctor Who inspired for their NCW that they had pledged for that month, and I obviously I had to buy the fabric for them, and so I needed a fat quarter of it. So to round it up, to make sure that I was going to have enough, I ordered 5 yards of this fabric. I actually got this from America, and I got it from fabric.com, and fabric, because it's a licensed fabric, fabric.com would not send it outside of America, so I had to have it sent to the very lovely Michelle, who then sent it on to me. So this fabric has passed borders that it should not have, or at least it's passed borders twice that it should not have. But you can get this stuff in the UK, but the best price that I found it for was about £14 a metre, and they had it for $7 a yard on fabric.com. And whilst yes, I had to pay for shipping, and I didn't actually pay for import fees on that one, but I did have to pay for shipping, it still worked out a better cost per metre to get it from America and have it shipped over than I could get it in the UK. Not by much, but it was. And there were a couple of other fabrics that I needed to buy that I could only find in America. So it was one of those ones where it was like, I'll just add that extra 4.5 yards on to nicely round out the order, and I'm really glad I did. Vincent and the Doctor is one of my very favourite Doctor Who episodes. The part where they take Vincent to the gallery and Bill Nighy just waxes lyrical about what Vincent van Gogh meant to people, and yeah, just art in general. It's getting me teary now. I always tear up at that particular episode. I love it so much. So when they brought this print out, I had to have it. I absolutely adore this dress. I put it on today to do some twirls down there, and Dad was like, "Oh, that's nice." It's like, yes. He's like, "No, that's really nice though." Yes it is. I'm sat down, so I'm not going to flash you my knickers, but I also used my gold lame bias binding on this one because I'd run out of navy. So I was like, oh, what can I do? And then I suddenly thought, you know what, I'm going to go all out. So it's got gold lame on the inside, so when you walk you get a little flash of that every now and again. So yes, I absolutely love this dress, and it really did sort of perk me up towards the end of June. And it's one of those things that it's like a palette cleanser. You know, you make something that you know you're good at, and that can be anything, but yeah, make it. And for me, that kind of got me out of my I can't do anything right sort of SewJo slump. So yes, my Vincent and the Doctor dress, exploding TARDISes. And yeah, of course I had to have an exploding TARDIS right in the middle of my chest. Of course I did. Anyway, I've not sewn loads in July, but what I have sewn I'm really pleased with. I've got 8 necessary clutch wallets done because I had 3 from May and 3 from June that needed to be done, and they were all got done, and then there was 2 presents that got done as well. So that was the 8 NCWs, and I have upped the amount that are available for this month. They've all gone, and so when September comes around I'm going to be making 2, and then when October comes around I'm going to be making 1, because I am going to be on holiday for those dates, so I didn't want to overextend myself and make people wait as long as that. Elise, I think, is the person who's waited the absolute longest, so thank you so much, Elise, for being patient. I'm cutting yours out tomorrow. It will be with you very soon, and it's gonna be awesome because it's peacock coloured leather and suede and cobra corsage fabric. It's going to be a wrench to let that one go. Yeah, it really is. Anyway, I have a few more things to show you, so I'm going to get changed and I'll be right back. Okay, so these are my Carolyn pyjamas from Closet Case Patterns, and they were on my hashtag 2017 make 9, and I cut them out in December, and then they just languished on the side for absolutely ages. And so I sewed up the bottoms in May, and you have seen a 12 for those, but I didn't get the top started, and then I picked it up, got halfway through and ran out of this maroon bias binding that I've used as flat piping on the shirt, so I had to order some more of that, which eventually came. And then I wasn't overly in love with how the collar went in because I hadn't finished it yet, and it wasn't looking the way I wanted it to look because I hadn't finished it yet. And so yeah, it was one of those projects that it was like well, and it got to the point where all it needed was its sleeves putting on and buttons and buttonholes and hemming, and it was like, man up, wet pants, you can do this. So I did, and I'm glad I did because I love it. I absolutely love it. Now I am actually quite hot. This is a cotton silk blend, and yeah, whew, it's warm. It's very warm, but I think these are going to be great for they're like Christmas PJs. So you know, when you go to places that you're like, we're going to Big Bird's house next week for the Festival of Quilts, so I will take these with me because I will have things that I can wander around the house in, look put together, but not have to have properly gotten dressed. And not everybody lives that kind of lifestyle, but every now and again we do, and fancy PJs just make it all that more like awesome. So yes, I have plans to make quite a few more of these because I love them that much. This shirt is very comfortable. I can't remember what size I went for, but I know that I went for the same size at the bust and the hips, and then I graded in at the waist, so it had a little bit more shaping in there because yeah, otherwise I was worried it would just be super huge on me. And again, whilst I'm not planning on being seen in the public in these. Also, I want to look good in them, if that makes sense. There are a few things that I need to tweak. The sleeves are the perfect length on me. The trousers are brilliant, but I didn't do anything about the crotch depth on those. And I know I have a long torso and they are about 2 inches too short for me. So I need to add some depth to the crotch, which I'm going to do to make them more comfortable. But that won't stop me wearing these ones, especially with the shirt over the top, because you can't see. So yes, I love these. I love these so much, and I'm so glad that I powered through and got them done. And again, this was the thing that I started in May and finished in June. So it's another one of my June makes. So the final 2 things that I got sewn up in July are the Vogue 9319, and I made the fluttery sleeved cropped top and the long wide leg trousers. And this is so 70s. This is so 70s, but I absolutely love it. This to me is a very holiday outfit. Now, I think it looks really cool with high heels, and I plan on wearing it with very high heels when out for dinner on one of the holidays that I have coming up. But I can't imagine wearing the whole outfit as is in the UK anywhere except around the house. And it's really weird. Quite a few people have commented on that, because I've shown you guys this in the vlogs, and quite a few people are like, why would you not wear it here? And it's just like, I don't know, I think it's because of the midriff bearingness of it. It's just how my brain works. So yes, I know, a bit weird, but I love these sleeves as well. I am doing a sew along for this one, and that will be coming out really soon, and so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Yeah, this was really easy to make. I did have to do a few little fit adjustments with this one, and I had the smaller size packet, so the 6 to the 14, and my hips only just fit in the size 14, so it is probably actually meant to be quite a bit wider at the top of the thighs going down. But as I say, I only had that one particular size bundle, which is why I made this size. And I am losing weight, I keep saying it, I am. It's all going down slowly but surely, and that's the way it should be, because that will be easier for me to keep it off. But I think these trousers are going to look really cool when I have lost just a little bit more weight off my butt. But I like them now as well. I think what it will be is that when I've lost that extra little bit of weight, I can then use the pockets, because at the moment the pockets are quite tight on my hips. So yes, but this fabric is from Lamatzi Fabrics, and I will link their shop down below. They also have it in white with silver stripes. This is the black one with gold stripes. It's really lovely to work with. It's a rayon, so it's a bit fiddly to cut out, but once you've done that, it presses really nicely and behaves itself and does what you tell it to do, which is nice. We like fabric like that. So yes, that's everything. That's everything that I've made in June and July. So not the most stuff. I have made some other things. I started on the McCall's top 7542, I want to say it is, and I started using one of the inexpensive fabrics that I'd got in my stash, because it was wearable muslin fodder, and it was the most horrible thing to sew with. So whilst I like the outlook of the top, I hated the actual finished garment. So that's gone to recycling. And I've also started on the 9077 shirt dress, which just needs hemming and buttons and buttonholes, but I hate the way that the collar goes in. I really don't like the collar, and is a little bit tight on me, even with the slight stretch that's in that fabric. So I have put it into my cupboard downstairs, not to be finished in the future, possibly, but I am going to go back and have a look at that pattern and redraft that pattern around the collar area, because I have discovered that I much prefer a collar stand collar rather than just a collar that goes into the neckline of a shirt or shirt dress. It's my personal preference, so I'm going to have a fuss with that pattern, make it work for me, because again it's on my 2018 Make 9, it's 2018, yes, my hashtag 2018 Make 9, it's on there. So I did get that sewn up, but I haven't finished that. And then I also made 20 key fobs for the lovely peeps of Patreon peeps, which have all been sent out. So it's been a fairly relaxed sewing month for me, given that I do this full time. I have had lots of other bits and pieces going on in the background. I am still working on my website. It's coming, it's coming. It's getting to the point where I get to do final approval of each of the pages and how they look and things like that, so it's so close, so close. I'm really excited to show you guys and to go forward with that, because I plan on writing blog posts to go along with sew-alongs and pattern reviews and things like that, because I know not everybody wants to either watch a video or trawl through my waffle to find the particular point where I mention that thing. So hopefully it'll be a really good reference point for a lot of the questions that I get asked on a regular basis. So website is coming, exciting. Anyway, yes, that's enough waffle from me. I really hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.